We're here for a very exciting dedication, but also a little bit of a bittersweet moment. We're dedicating the kitchen and having this little send-off for Chef Carlson, who's not quite bought his boat, but he's getting it. So what I'm curious about is he going to let us know where it's docked? So when we want to take a little ride, we can. Steve Hart, as many of you heard, is a wonderful person, a great manager. We all know that from what he had to say earlier today. But what Steve doesn't know is he's one of my role models. And I mean this in all seriousness. So right after I got here, I did a couple of visits to properties to try to learn about the hospitality industry. Because all I know about the hospitality industry is how to pay the check. So Steve was gracious enough to spend the better part of the day with me. And then I spent more time with his staff. But what he said about knowing the names of everybody is true. And I was paying attention to it. First I thought, he's really good at reading those name tags from a distance. And then he started coming up behind people. And it wasn't just, hello Maria. It was, hello Maria, is your daughter feeling better? Or how is your vacation saying? Or whatever. So he really knows his people. And as I was new to the dean's role, and so I kind of filed that away. It's all about people. If you have the people, everything else takes care of itself. But then he taught me something really special about the hospitality industry. I'm curious to see if you remember this. So as we're walking around, somehow the topic of scotch comes up. And I don't remember how, but that happens a lot to me, actually. And so he very casually asked, well, what's your favorite scotch? And I said, yeah, I'm a big Glenmorangie fan, and I really like the port finish Glenmorangie. So there was a reception that evening that Steve was gracious enough to host for. And does anybody know scotch? Glenmorangie is not something that you see on every shelf. But lo and behold, what was there at the reception? There were 3 or 4 different kinds of single malt scotch, and one of them was my favorite scotch. And that was not an accident. I just wondered how many stores somebody had to go to before they finally. And then the third thing that led Steve to be one of my role models was at an NAB National Advisory Board meeting we had right over here a few months ago. Steve came all the way up here to meet his obligation as an NAB member. But as soon as it was over, he rushed back down to go to, I believe it was one of your son's football games. He doesn't miss his son's a football coach, high school football coach, is that right? And he doesn't miss those games. And so the third piece of this was, he taught me what's really important. So you meet your obligations, but don't forget your family. Don't forget the things that are truly important in life. And so I'd like to thank Steve for the support that he's given and for serving as one of my leadership role models. So I'd like to say